Grandpa, remember, no cussing, all right? All right. Sounds good. Well, anyways, so just to give you background on the project, so we have to interview you guys or someone who's lived in the same spot for 20 years. And I remember whenever I came to visit you guys, this past time we were looking at those tornado pictures. So I know that was kind of the big event, but kind of an overarching deal. Can you give me your perspective on really like your backyard, the lakes or the ponds you have in your house, like wildlife? Has it like increased, decreased? Has vegetation increased, decreased, stuff like that? And then you guys can just take turns and talk about it. That'd be great.
What time frame are you talking about? In the last 5 years, 10, 15?
20, last 20.
Well, we've been here 25, 30 something.
All right. Well, then talk about the last 30, Grandpa.
Huh?
You can talk about the last 30 or something then.
Yeah. Okay. Tell him how much have more deer than we used to have.
Really?
Well, no, I don't want. I came here. This house was kind of not too good, and it had like 3 warshoes coming in from the north side, and I took all the trees out of them, peeled them all up. And when they built a house the first time, they dozed up a lot of trees and stuff between me and Wisman, and I cleaned that all up. And the same thing between me and the house up on the corner, I cleaned that up and planted some just sowed grass. I didn't put any grass sod down. And then the ponds were already there, but the one on the left side, we dug it out bigger, and it's about 16 foot deep, but now that pond's probably on about 4 foot deep. It's filled in from the water running off the side of the hill here. You're always making new dirt everywhere. No, where did dirt come from?
Where did dirt come from?
Yeah, where does this dirt come from?
I don't know, Grandpa. You tell me.
Well, 5 billion years ago, the rocks come out out and forever out there, and they start clumping together, bang, 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 and they did that for about 5 billion years ago. Earth was as big as it was, but it wasn't nothing but granite, rock. Granite was no dirt, and then after it came together, it made volcanoes. And the volcanoes came from melting the rock inside and blowing it up. And it's black, So you ever seen volcanic rock? It's black in Russia. What this place about 90 and 900 miles wide and hundreds of feet deep on eastern Russia. And of course, here in California, there's black dirt on the side of the road. You see it. That's volcanic rock. Now we got granite, and then we had this melting to come out of the ground. Now we still ain't got no dirt yet. So then when the earth cooled off, the water that was out in the atmosphere turned solid and landed on the earth. Are you recording this? Write this down.
I'm writing this down, Grandpa. I'm listening. No, you're going good. I want you to focus. I want you to focus on the house more. But yeah, this is good right here. All right.
So, and then when the water came down, it froze up and pushed the rock off, one grain of rock at a time. So that's where all dirt, loose and little stuff came from those two there.
Okay.
So we got rock, we got dirt here, but we have rock right underneath it. So therefore, the ground can shift from earthquakes, and not a lot, but it does. Here a year ago, I was going to get this thing ready to go, and I fixed about 50, 60 places where the stuff had come apart because it had been chipped apart.
Yeah, from all the earthquakes.
So now the water comes down off the hill, comes down, and the dirt goes in a pond on the north side. The north side, one is filling up, the other one stays pretty full all the time. And now, Tina, go something. Tell him something else. Are you through telling him all the how dirt got here? Yeah, how we got here on the hill. Okay. When here over the last about 20 years ago, he hauled in a bunch of dirt to help level out the area because we had lost so much, and most of what we have here just underneath is rock. So even to be able to get trees or anything to grow, we had to add some more. But we've also, with the rains and the different things, you've got more washes, and we've got areas that have had water and stuff wash away. Okay. So also now, because of that reason, I planted a lot of trees, and probably 35 or 40 of them have died because when they start getting big, their roots grow out bigger and bigger, and they fight over the water and the soil that's here. And so then one of them die and another one die. They spacing themselves out from their own selves as dying. But water running, the dirt's moving down to the south side of his piece of property because the water runs south side. So dirt moves around all the time on there from our water and the rain, and what makes things go.
Yeah. So can you speak to, like the tornado? I know it hit you guys' house, but the land itself that you guys are on, did it do like a ton of damage? And then, like, depending on the damage, or did you see like a recovery, like a natural recovery, or anything happening after the tornado?
Well, one of the things there were willow trees all the way around the big pond right in the front house on the east side. And those were put down to nothing. Some of them recovered, but most of them did not, and we wound up having to take all of those out. And the oak trees and some of the big trees in back were beat up really pretty bad. Some of them hit back, some of them did not, and then we ended up planting some additional trees. Also, as time changes, Rudy Fouts, my old buddy's dead now, had a picture down at the 193rd and Admiral, right down there by the casino, and looking south to Broken Arrow. There's about 10 of them sitting on horses, which is cowboys. And there wasn't a tree between here and Broken Arrow. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Because the hackberry is what we got here. Hackberry has a berry on there, and about 500 berries in each little hackberry. It has 1 million of them around, and the Indians used to burn it all off. So they let that crap. They had more damn brains than we did. They'd burn the whole country off, get rid of all the trees. And so we let them all grow up, and they try to grow over everything. And they don't take a lot of water to keep them in there because they got themselves used to growing kind of on a real thin soil that go down the rock. Can't go any further. Now, a pine tree, if I see somebody plant them, I just laugh. I hate them because it's all over Mississippi and Alabama. There's a lot of dirt there. They go down about 2 to 3 feet how much. They hit the rock, and you know what happens? They die because they don't have any water. Yeah, and I said, I was like, a stupid bastard shouldn't have put it on there. Shouldn't say something like that, should you? Well, so you write that out.
Yeah.
Now, the wind blows here pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's quite often, maybe I'm sitting here looking out back, and all the deer, you see them take off and run off, and the birds will fly off.
Yeah.
That means that the tornadoes are coming. They don't have weather people or weather birds, but they know when it's coming, so they leave.
Yeah.
And then if it just blows, and it's going to be a rainy deal, and they don't go. They know when it's not a tornado. They know that by the rain itself, and I have no idea. But I've just seen it done over and over and over. You say, "Ooh, look, I'm leaving. Tornado somewhere coming close."
Yeah,
but might not get here. But
so I remember, I think, what was it, like 5 or 6 years ago? Oklahoma went through a huge drought, right? Remember the lake or the ponds kind of dried up a little bit. Can you speak to some changes you saw when that happened, and then how it's recovered to now?
Totally dried up.
Okay.
And the one right here in front of the house went down 6 or 7 feet, it didn't get totally dry because it's a lot deeper, and I guess has better water source. And then as we've had various rains and stuff, they filled back up, and it's been halfway full for the last couple of years. But in dry years, then we don't have the perfect lawn because we don't water like your parents do.
Yeah.
So we lose trees and some plant life. We don't do the excess watering. In fact, a couple of years ago, when we had the really dry time and we had a lot of sun, then we had some of our trees out here got, it was almost like a sunburn on the west side of them and caused some problems, and we lost some of the whatever disease comes up from there.
Yeah.
And I've never seen it. Oak trees, I never knew anything about them. But you know what a sperm looks like. It comes out of you, you little round thing.
Yeah.
Well, the same kind of little bug was underneath the oak tree barks and just killed the hell out of them. And they just get flat, maybe 10,000.
Yeah, just like a pesticide or something like that. Yeah.
And they crawl not where the bark is and not where the tree is. It's just out on the branches in between there, and they climb up to that in between there.
Okay.
And kill smokes. I've never seen that. There's a 40-acre island somewhere up on Grand Lake, and they said they kill all the oak trees off of there because that's a change of weather. I've never seen that, just a weather thing.
Yeah.
And, of course, now we have more, kind of funny, you know, the world, they say it's getting hotter, and they said it's getting colder. But I've seen the data in the last ice age was 12, 13, or 22,000 years ago. And it got over with about 11,000 years ago. But then I looked in the data I read and stuff. Every 20 in the Milky Way, the Earth and the Sun, we go from one side of it to the other. It takes 22,000 years. And then we turn around and come back to the other side 22,000 years. And the weather changes hugely amount each time. And we go back up again. We can do that over and over and over. Now, the trees, you remember when the violins in England, whatever, Stradivarius, and it was all, you know, you hear about them. They so great.
Yeah.
Why was they so great, you know? And finally we figured it out. We had a dry period in there of 10, 20 years, and when a tree grows, it's got the hard part and the soft part and the hard part. If it's wet, it grows real wide, it's got a lot of soft part in there. But for that length of time that those violins were made, it was real dry and it was real narrow, so the wood was a lot harder what was actually there. So that's where that wood came from, to make those fancy violins, because it didn't rain, and that's been 100 years ago or 200 years ago, somewhere back then.
Gotcha.
But we get good stuff, you know. What now? But we're talking about, we got this weather's getting hotter, right? And we put out carbon
dioxide.
Carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
What do we put out?
Dioxide.
What?
Carbon dioxide, CO2.
Now, in that nourishment, that's what brings all the world all to eat. That kind of carbon. That's what makes their leaves where it comes from.
Yeah.
So have we looked out and seen the leaves and the greenery start getting greener?
Have you?
They should. That's what the scientists tell us. So you have to listen to it, or maybe some BS right in there somewhere. See?
I hear you.
But every 22,000 years, we go from one side of the Milky Way, and then we turn around and go back the other way. Every time we go, the water, it quits raining. It gets dry. We turn around and go back the other way. Then it starts raining, and it all comes back again. So this is something, but scientists, I say, last year, you know, 5 years and 10 years and 20 years, that ain't nothing. But the length of time the Earth been here, we've had 5 billion years. It changes for different things.
Yeah.
At length of time, where we move into the out in whatever outside, up in the atmosphere or out of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
In the Milky Way, in the Earth, and so we have this changing that goes on all the time. So in 22,000 years from now, it'll change back again as we go back to the other side. But they don't never tell you that, though, do you? Never seen that. Okay, that's not what Bryce is asking.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good. That was good.
Let's get back on that around here then.
Well, yeah, just to conclude, because it's supposed to be relatively short. So today, just like your house today, kind of like what's new? What do you see like happening in the environment outside? Because I know you guys do pay attention a lot to that backyard area. So if there's a couple things that kind of stick out. Yeah, but is there like a couple things that you see like growing more, something that's not growing like you would in the past, or just like some trends that you see, or just kind of same old?
Since we're here, we let the trees grow back. They grow back all the time.
Yeah.
And the Indians had to burn off all the time. And that's just a very short time. So my point is, change is so little that we do not have the ability to say we get hotter or colder, even though we got a half a temperature, a half a degree up, a half down.
Yeah.
Most of that PS has been doing this forever.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go back to an ice age, another you're 20,000 years of ice age again, and the ice will take back over the country from you.
Yeah. Well, okay, Grandma, yeah.
The thing about our grants and stuff around itself is because we have so much shade that I don't grow grass very well under it, even though he has cut the tree limb high, but it still does not have enough nutrient in the soil because I do a lot of extra watering of that point. And the whatever greenery or whatever I have here in my front beds depends on how much I water as to whether it grows. I haven't seen a whole lot of difference in it in that particular way. And we have not seen any particular diseases come through for the trees over the years. Once we got through whatever came through, it must be about 10, 12 years ago when the oak trees around town wound up developing this, it looks like arthritis, where the little bug got in out on the branches and stuff.
Okay.
To do that. But it's one of the things that kind of pass through at different times. I don't know whether the birds or just the parasites just show up. I'm sure they're brought in from somewhere. We see more birds now in our backyard because we have bird feeder out there, and it's been mild the last couple of summers, last couple of winters. So they don't all head south. They kind of winter around here.
Got it.
And the only long-term thing I can tell you, when I was a kid, the cotton grew in Mississippi.